I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Derek Alia, CEO of Futureswap. Derek, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time to come on.
Thanks, Ashton. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to dive into the world of decentralized exchanges, AMMs, and what Futureswap is working on with some new initiatives and the version 3 coming out, which I'm excited to dive into. I would love for you to kick it off for the audience with an overview to start of Futureswap, and then we can dive into the details.
Yeah. So on a high level, Futureswap is a perpetual protocol that allows for anyone to engage on Ethereum with our contracts, allowing them to create perpetuals on any asset they want to with leverage up to 20x. This is really exciting. We were the first to create a fully decentralized perpetual about a year ago, slightly over a year ago, which helped kick off a lot of this DeFi bull run, which was really fun being part of that. And so we learned a lot, and we're on version 3 now. We're very excited with what we've created, and we hope this next run is going to be as fun as the last one. Definitely,
and I'm glad your team's been a part of it, and I know you had significant volume on Futureswap, which we can dive into as well. I'm curious, the timing obviously was right. When you were driving these solutions into the market, can you talk about some of the problems and the frictions, what was missing in the market, and how you filled that gap with perpetuals? Was it just more asset types needed to be added into this decentralized world, or was it something else?
Yeah, I think, as a user of some of the other centralized exchanges, we noticed that the market was moving in a direction where people wanted a decentralized solution, and they wanted something that was non-custodial in the ethos of crypto. I mean, you're trading crypto on these centralized exchanges, and it sort of breaks the experience of what the whole point is. And so we wanted to make sure that we stayed aligned with the values of crypto and created a fully decentralized solution for these traders.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And you talk about perpetuals, and a lot of traders in crypto are just trading spot. Maybe you can talk a little bit about derivatives, how that works, and what is the value for crypto traders in getting involved in that?
I mean, I think the biggest value add is where people are very excited about a certain currency or a certain asset, and they decide, hey, I think ETH is really going up. I really believe EIP 1559 is going to improve things. And so beyond just what I can buy with my $100, I want to leverage this up. So I want to be able to take more exposure on an asset than I would be able to just over spot. And so that's where perpetuals come in. It allows you to engage into a trade that allows you to have way more exposure on an asset. And you get to be sort of in full control. If it starts going against you in price, you can always close out. And if it starts going in the direction that you are hoping for, you get to be in control and decide when you want to exit the position. So it gives a lot of control to the user on the other side of that.
Mm-hmm. Great to know. Thanks for that explanation, Derek. And I'm guessing having these positions in there has enabled Futureswap to, in the past few months, grow to over $4.2 billion in volume. So that's an amazing number. Congratulations on that so far. Can you talk about how you've been working with providing that liquidity and getting that volume on the exchange in the past few months?
Yeah, so I think there's definitely appetite for liquidity providers to have high yield, to be on a high yield protocol. And one thing that Futureswap offers is a very competitive yield protocol. And so we enable sort of this AMM where people can put their liquidity into our platform that gets used by traders. And what's interesting is that on normal spot, you're not really using the full pool every day. You're using a fraction of the pool. In Futureswap, we can be using, say there's $1 million in pool, we could use 10 million. The pool can essentially churn multiple times a day. So the fees that you're generating on your assets are far more. So it makes it very attractive for liquidity providers to come to our platform. And so that's one way we've been able to be very competitive, to have the liquidity there for traders to come and take on these trades. It's been a really interesting experience for us.
Definitely. High yields are always great. And do you think that is one of the main reasons or part of the reason why many traders are starting to move to DEXs with AMMs over centralized exchanges?
Certainly for liquidity providers, I think this is a huge incentive for them. For traders, at the end of the day, so long as more liquidity provides a better trade experience, which is really what we've been able to build. With more liquidity, you have less slippage. Traders are more interested in having a better trade experience, right? So they want the best price execution, which is something that Futureswap really focuses on, making sure that we're very competitive against the other centralized exchanges. And so I think that's why they would be interested in this. But yields definitely attract the liquidity providers.
Definitely. And I know with decentralized exchanges, getting that liquidity is important because there can be higher slippage if there's not enough liquidity. Is that an issue that you ever ran into with Futureswap?
Our slippage was very low, consistently lower than all of our competitors. So we didn't really face this problem, which allowed us to sort of focus on other areas of development for Futureswap.
Definitely. And is it mainly the high yields or the user experience, or is there something else that's driving incentives for adoption for more traders to move from centralized trading exchanges over to Futureswap?
I think at the end of the day, traders want exposure on an asset, and they want exposure in a way that they can understand. Futureswap was one of those platforms where it was fairly easy to compare to another centralized exchange like Binance or BitMEX and go ahead and start engaging. And so it was fairly trivial. Certainly, there was some information around how to work with Ethereum and MetaMask and gas costs that did affect usability. But overall, I think traders just want to engage in an experience that's relatively similar to what they've experienced before.
Definitely. And with Futureswap, is it cross blockchain, or are you specifically focused on Ethereum, or are you continuing to expand throughout the blockchain ecoverse?
I mean, we certainly love Ethereum, and there's other protocols out there that are very interesting that we've been looking at. I think those are still in early stages, and we'll continue to explore those chains as they grow. We're not limited to Ethereum, and we're definitely looking outside of the space for other opportunities. But so far, it seems like Ethereum has a lot of the network effects that we're looking for, and so much of the ecosystem is built there, developer tools, other projects, users, that it sort of makes it a lot easier for us to engage on that platform than it does another platform.
Definitely. And did you guys run into gas fee problems with Ethereum, or did you start utilizing layer 2 solutions or find another way to lower the cost for traders?
Gas fees were incredibly high when we were launched. I think they were some of the highest that they'd ever been on Ethereum. So our platform was indirectly affected by that. We don't have control over the gas fees of the protocol, but that's just how it is. And so now we're looking at other layer 2s. Arbitrum is coming on soon. Looks like Optimism is also shortly coming up. And we're very excited about these platforms. We hope to launch as soon as they launch. So we're very excited. We think it's a matter of weeks. And I think this will enable sort of a trade experience that's similar to what you expect on a centralized exchange with far lower gas fees. So that's exciting for us.
Very exciting. And I mentioned at the beginning, you're working on version 3. I'm guessing that is a part of it. Can you give a snapshot to the viewers on what's going to be coming in version 3 that's better than version 2, and when is that sort of expected?
Yeah, so version 3 is a totally redesigned version from the ground up. We've assembled an amazing team of engineers and traders to build this new version. And something that we focused on was making it as performant as possible and as cheap as possible. So before, some people were paying upwards of a couple $100 just to run a transaction because Ethereum was so expensive. And on this version, we've really reduced the costs in our contracts to make sure that you're far under sort of $5 a trade or something like this. We hope to get it down to $1, which is on a decentralized system, which is pretty low, especially on Ethereum. So we're very excited about this. Making it easier for liquidity providers, instead of having to add normally 2 assets, something like USDC and ETH, for example, you're just having to provide 1. So just add your USDC. You don't have to worry about impermanent loss, and you're off to the races. So it's much, much easier. We also are able to have far more assets in this version, something that we've been waiting for a long time. So expect a variety of markets on our protocol, and also increase leverage. So those of you who want more exposure on an asset can now engage in more.
That's very exciting. And definitely on the impermanent loss side, I think a lot of traders that are moving into decentralized exchanges are hesitant to put up liquidity because they are afraid of the volatility of the assets. Moving into stablecoins is one thing, but not having any impermanent loss obviously is a huge advantage on top of that. So that's great to know. And as well, in the platform, is there a Futureswap token that you're being utilized within the platform that users also can help engage in the ecosystem with?
Yeah, so our main governance token is FST. So FST is the token of the protocol. This is used to govern what upgrades, what other markets we're adding, any kind of token vote. So this is the way to engage in the platform. And we do distribute this to liquidity providers and traders. We want our user base to be the actual users that are using it. We don't want tons of outside speculators who have very little understanding of it having a big say in it. So we distribute these to users, and we hope to get a lot of engagement through that. We were one of the very first projects in the space to have a DeFi governance token. We saw this as, this is going to be a thing with most DeFi projects, and this is a core need for the community to have a say in what goes on in the governance. So we're really excited about this, and we think the future of FST is going to be very interesting, given that this is a platform with a lot of usage and value.
Definitely. And speaking of the future, what do you think, Derek, will be one of the key factors to success for Futureswap, 5+ years down the road, to maintain and become one of the top places to swap?
Yeah, I think a great model for this is if you look at the excitement of something like Uniswap and how that's been able to really take on spot exchange and spot competition. I think the same will happen in the perpetual space, where you have these decentralized protocols that are really, really close to the experience of a centralized exchange. And if you look at the amount of volume going through these systems, it's incredible to think about how much value we can give to the traders and liquidity providers. So I'm very excited about this.
Definitely. And for people that are also looking at getting involved now with providing liquidity, with trading on Futureswap, and just getting involved in the community and looking for the updates for version 3, what's the best way for them to get involved in this?
I think the best way is to come to our Discord, ask any questions. We're waiting for Arbitrum to launch, and then we'll be launching with them. We're super excited. So, V3 is coming up, and if you have any questions, please contact us. Yeah, I think that's the best way.
Sounds great, Derek. I'll leave the Futureswap links and the community links as well in the description box below for the viewers for easy access to that. All the best with version 3 launching of Futureswap and the continued growth of the platform. It does look really exciting, and I'm excited for your team's growth. And let's follow up in the near future.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Ashton. I really appreciate it.